Hi everybody, this is Bunny, and I am gonna be here for the next hour or so teaching you guys how I make my little PSD, my Photoshop templates, which I want to preface this by saying I am not trained. I have never taken any classes or lessons. I've looked at like maybe 3 or 4 tutorials in the past like 6 years of me using Photoshop. And how I do it may not be the most efficient way to do things, but that's just the way I do it. So just know that there probably is an easier way to do what I'm doing, but this is just the way I know and the way that works for me. So I use Photoshop. There are lots of other free options. Canva is another one. GIMP is another one. I personally have always used Photoshop. I pay for Photoshop. I think it's like $10 a month for it. So you don't have to use Photoshop. I know GIMP is kind of very similar to Photoshop. It just doesn't have as many features. I've used it in the past when like I first started my Sembler, but I use Photoshop, like purchased a subscription. For me, it pays off in itself because I do so much with Photoshop. But Canva is another really good alternative if you can afford it. The Pro version is really good. I just stick to what I know. I'm a creature of habit, but so I'm going to be using a lot of tools on here. I'm sure you can follow along on your own, like Canva and stuff. You can probably follow along with me. It's just going to look a little different. But all templates are a bunch of shapes and a lot of editing. A really simple template could take me around 20 to 30 minutes at most. A really more intricate template might take me like an hour or so. It just depends really on the vibes that I'm going for. I'm going to teach you guys how to make a simple template, like a moodlet template. And then I'm going to help you guys make like a social media kind of template. And then I'm going to show you ways that I make like, I recently released a comic book option for my Sembler on my Patreon, which you can join. It's free. I have no memberships. You don't even need to sign up. I just have it linked over there. So yeah, I'm going to show you how to make that comic book because it's very easy. Everything I do is pretty easy. So let's get started. So I'm going to delete this. Okay, so for the moodlet template, right? All you're going to need is a shape. So I'm going to go over here. This is my toolbar. It's kind of small, so I'm sorry, but I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click right here where I see shapes. And I'm going to right click it and I'm going to pick a rounded rectangle tool. And I'm just going to draw a random rounded rectangle right there. Beautiful. All right, now I don't want this stroke, so I'm going to remove the border and I want the fill to be white. You can pick whatever fill you want. Does not matter. You can pick whatever you want. Now down here, I'm going to lower this real quick. Down here, you can see there's a bunch of options here. The width and the height is the width of the height of the box. The X and Y, I'm pretty sure is its placement on the background is called a canvas for Photoshop. So that's its exact placement. I don't know what these buttons in the middle are, but down here where you see the rounded edges, these are the corners. So if you change one number here, so let's say I want 25, it'll change all 4 corners to be 25. But let's say you're like, I don't want the top to be 25. I want that to be 0. You can unlink it and type 0 in there. And it will automatically sharpen those edges if you wish. So it all depends on the vibes you want. Okay, some of them I do that, some of them I don't. So here's my base, right? I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste it over because this is where I'm going to do my social media one. And I'm going to lock that one real quick. And I'm going to name this social media. Now what locking does is it locks whatever you're locking, it locks the layer so that you can't edit it. So I can't do anything. I can move this one around all I want, but I cannot do anything with this one. And I do that so I don't mess up placements. For this one, I'm going to name this the moodlet. I want it to have a little bit of a border on the top almost, so I can put a color there for the emotion I want. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink it and then make the bottom corner 0. Oops, sometimes I mess it up. 0 and 0. So now I have a straight edge at the bottom, which is exactly what I want. I'm going to layer it right on top, and I'm just going to shrink it like to there. That looks good to me. And then I can go ahead and change the color. Let's say I want to do confident, because it's kind of a confident color. I'm just going to make it just a tad bit down, right? Just a little bit, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and lock it. That way let me go back and lock this one. So now when I'm doing the editing for the text, I'm not messing with the background anymore. And normally what I do is I click both options over here on the right. I control click so that I have them together, and then I will create a folder and I will just name that background. Oops, that's something else that we're doing. Background. And now my background is nice and organized, and now I can't mess with it anymore. Now for texting, you want to make sure that you pick a nice consistent font. You don't want too many fonts, because too many fonts can kind of just look not great for the eyes. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little text box right over here. I get all of my fonts from like defont.com or 1001 fonts. That's where I get all my fonts from. I just download them from there. But the one I want, this one, Irene Sands. And I'm going to make it like 20. And what you want to do with these kind of templates is you want to make sure you have a font with a lot of styles. Like if I go to like this one, Rafaela, right? There's no style. It's just regular. But if I go back to Irene Sands, I have a lot of different styles, which is what you want. You want your moodlet to have a lot of texture almost to it. So that's why I like to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put confident plus. And then someone can put a number there if they want. And then I'm gonna just make it a little bit smaller. It looks a little large. I think maybe oh, okay. The eye looks kind of weird. It looks a little small. Let's try 18 maybe. Okay, that feels a little bit better. Now you can kind of see it's kind of hard to read that confident. I'm gonna zoom in just a bit. Kind of hard to read it because it's white on a lighter background. So what you're gonna do is to get it so that's kind of shadowed, if you double click the layer that you want, I'm gonna double click it, you will get this layer style window that pops up. There's a bunch of different stuff that you can do on here. You can color overlay, so if you want to pick a different color. You can gradient overlay if you want to pick a radiant. It's up to you. I really use the color gradient overlays and then drop shadows and stroke and outer glow. Everything else I don't really use. So to get that shadow, you want to put a drop shadow. And this is going to need adjusting for every text you do, because every text might need a different kind of drop shadow. The one thing that stays consistent is my lighting is always, the angle is always at 120 degrees. I read it on some Photoshop tutorial years ago. So it's just what I do. So I'm going to bring the spread down just a bit. Size down just a tad. I'm going to make it like a 3 maybe. And then maybe like a 1. There we go. So now it's a little bit easier to read that text. Right? It's a little bit easier. And the way I get in and out really quickly is I click Control plus minus. Plus will give you zoom. Minus will give you zoom out. So that's how I do that. Okay. So now we got the little moodlet, right? This is a confident movement. But let's say you were feeling fancy and you're like, you know what? I want to make this moodlet gradient. So I can do a gradient overlay, right? I can go here. And for me, I have like some already, I guess, pre-saved. And I'm going to choose, this one looks pretty nice. I want one with like a lot of contrast. That one looks good. And then I'm going to change it so that it's, maybe we can do linear at an angle. And then the scaling will say like how sharp is that gradient going to look. And I want it to be pretty blended. Reverse. I don't know. It just doesn't look great. So let's try a different gradient style. Maybe one like this. Maybe one like that. No. You just want to play it. Like that one looks good. That's good. So now you have like a cool gradient if you want. And then I can go ahead and lock that. You can also lock the folder, but if you lock the folder, basically that becomes its parent, and then you have to unlock it every time you want to edit. So that's why I don't lock the folders. I only lock folders when I'm completely done with that layer. Okay, so now I've got that down, right? Now I want to actually start building the descriptions, right? So I'm going to use the same font that I used up here. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to make this font. The Sims use like a blue. You probably can't see me picking the color. Hold on. Oh, it's fine. You guys can see me. I'm just picking on the slider, the color. That seems good. And I'm going to go ahead and make this like a bold. And then I'm going to increase the size because I want this to be the thing that people see. So I'm going to make it like a 25. And then I'm going to see how that looks. That looks great. So now I can just say, okay, let's say moodlet. Oh, hold on. Moodlet name. And I'm going to make sure that it is on the left hand placement. There you go. Now you've got your moodlet name, right? There is another font called, I have a Sims font. Hold on. See if I can find it real quick. I don't know if you can see this. I do have a Sims font. I have Simlish, but I know I have a Sims font. Sorry, this is a non sequitur. Let me try typing Sims. There it is, the Sims Sans. I do have this font. You can use that font if you want. I'm just going to stick to the same text. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste this, and I'm going to make it smaller. I'm going to make it pretty small. I'm going to make it like an 18. And I'm going to put it right underneath, line it up nicely, and then I'm going to actually make it slightly lighter. Slightly, because that's how the moodlets in the Sims are. And then you can go ahead and say from ... And this is where your Sim is getting their moodlet from, is it? Because they looked at someone. I do like to edit these just a tad so that, and I might move it just like like that. Okay, now we've got the moodlet where it's from, and then I'm going to go ahead, once again, I'm going to copy and paste it. I'm just a copy and paste kind of girl. And I'm going to edit the text box so that it goes pretty far out. I'm going to make this maybe 20. And then I don't know if I'm going to keep that same font color. Let me try doing something maybe like a black. Let me see how that looks. That looks fine. And then that's pretty much done. I'm just going to make sure that here, this AA with a line, I need to make sure that's 20. I like to keep these two lined up. That's the spacing between the lines. So like when you go over to another line, let me just put a bunch of stuff. The spacing is pretty good. So if I make it smaller, sometimes I'd like to go 5 less. Hold on. And you see how I got closer? But I normally, hold on. Oh no, I don't like that. Redo. Yep. I normally keep it about the same or 5 less. It's one or the other. Make this 20. Hold on. 20. There we go. And then I'm just going to go ahead and say moodlet description. And there you go. Now you have, maybe let's try doing like a little bit of a lighter black shade, like a gray. There we go. That's nicer. So now you've got this all done, right? This is all done, right? Now, I have seen some people do it before. Let's say you want to put some sort of icon here. So I'm going to quickly grab an icon. Give me 1 second. I'm grabbing my icons. I'm just going to pick a random one. Where's the base game ones? Base game. This is a confident moodlet, so maybe like a mirror or something. So I'm just going to grab an icon from the game. You can download these online. If you just look up Sims 4 icons downloads, you'll find a whole bunch of them. Of course, the moment I want like a mirror, I can't find it. Okay, I'm just going to pick this one. It's like a little thumbs up. So let's say you want to have this so that it's kind of just poking through right here, right? Like it's just poking through the blue. I'm going to tilt it. So all you do is you make sure that this is above the blue layer. So I'm going to go down here where it says background, and I'm going to plop it right above the blue layer. And then when I right click it, you're going to want to click create clipping mask. And what it's, hey, why isn't it working? Hold on, why isn't it working? Oh, I think I know why. I know why. That's why. Okay, because of the gradient overlay. Okay, that's fine. If you want to change it, you could just go here, gradient, and then I can go ahead and find the blue I was just using. I think it was this one. That one looked pretty good, and then I'm just going to move it so that, there we go. And then change the scaling to be, oh, this one you can go actually a lot more with the scaling. There we go. Nope, that's too, there we go. All right, I fixed it. There we go. So now that it's clipped, it will only be in this blue spot. So you can like literally do it right there if you wanted to. You can pick anything. You can clip it to that area. If you want to pick like a scene, you can put a scene in there. And that's what clipping does, is that it makes it so it's only within the constraint of that layer. And now I could lock this. And now this moodlet, I just need to spruce up the text. So what I like to do is for all the text now, I'm going to go ahead and grab it all, and I'm going to make a folder out of it, and I'm going to call this text. Right, and now all the text is in this little area, and I do like to organize it. Oops, sorry. So I like to do it from top to bottom, so I'm going to put confident, moodlet name. There we go. Now everything is organized. You can even right click and give it a color. Right here you'll see a couple colors. I can make it violet. So now all of these layers will be violet. So I know that anything violet is going to be text. Let's say I make it so anything red is a background. And now, oops, sorry. Now everything here is red. So now you've got this all done. That's an easy template to do. It's one of the easiest ones you can do. Now this one on the right is going to be the social media one, and that one's going to take a little bit more playing around with it. So first thing I'm going to do is I want it to kind of look like it's transparent, like with a darker overlay. So I'm going to go ahead and make the fill black. And to get it transparent, you want to multiply it. So you're going to change it to multiply. And for the fill, I like to keep it like at like a 90 almost. Like that's fine. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you guys one more thing. I'm so sorry. I'm scatterbrained. For this one, I want to make it so it has a drop shadow and it's got like a little invisible layer. So I'm going to unlock the parent folder, double click it. I'm going to draw stroke. And what you want to make sure is that it's outside and it's either overlay or soft light, up to you. And then you can adjust the opacity based on what your image needs. And then you want to keep the size whatever you want. Some people do a little small border. Some people, I like to do like 5 at least. And then I'm going to add a drop shadow. And then this one, obviously, I'm going to need to edit it a bit because, maybe bring the spread down a bit. Yeah. And then there we go. There we go. And now we have a nice little drop shadow, and it looks kind of like it's shadowing, like it's popping out almost. And that's how you do that. All right, lock that up. Okay, now let's go back to the social media post. Okay, so now for this one, I want to do a little bit more extra. So I want to have like a photo that my sim can have their avatar photo, which I'm showing my age because that's what we used to call them. And then I want to make sure that I have somewhere for the sim to put their user handle and all that fun stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that. So to get the image, like the circle, I'm going to go ahead and right click and click ellipse. and I'm going to make a circle. I'm going to just make a random circle, and I'm going to make a fill of a random color. It's just easier to see when it's a random color like that. Now, some social media, for reference, I don't have any social media other than like Similar and YouTube. I don't have Instagram or anything like that, but like I have seen when I make templates, I like look them up online. And there's always like a little rim around here that's like gradient to show that the person has a story maybe. So I want to add that, and this is how you do it. So I'm going to go ahead and right click it twice, get my layer style. I'm going to go ahead and click stroke. I'm going to change it so that the blend mode is normal. Make sure the opacity is all the way through, right? You can decide how big you want it to be. I'm just going to leave it at 5. And then for fill type, you're going to click gradient, and then you're going to either create your own gradient or pick one you've already got. I already have one, I'm pretty sure. I don't know where it is. I'm going to find it. It might be down here. Oh, I don't know where it is. Is it in oranges? Nope, it's not in oranges. I have one already pre-made. Basics maybe? Nope, not in basics. Not in blues. Oh, right here. This one. I think it's this one. Yeah, that one. I've made that one. And how you can edit your layer is if you click on the gradient, you can start to add and take away colors and shift the colors how you want them. So that's why I have this one. Same thing. I'm just going to make sure that it's kind of like diagonal. I want the blue to be up top like that. And then the scaling, this one looks pretty fine to me. Like I said, you can make it really big, really small. I'm just going to keep it at 100 because it looked pretty good. And now it looks like your sim has a story. I do think I want to make the circle a little bit smaller. So right here on the width and height, I'm going to go ahead and make it 50. That way it's even and it's smaller. And now the border looks kind of big. So I'm just going to go back in there and just, make it a little bit smaller. Make it like a 3. Yeah, that looks better now. See, that looks more realistic. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and rename this as profile pic. This is just for me to kind of stay organized while I'm making these, because if I don't stay organized, it gets really messy and then it takes me forever to release a template because I don't want to, I want to make sure it's nice and neat. Okay, so now I want to have their name, and I'm going to use literally the same text from over here. So I'm going to go ahead right here, make it white. You know what? Let's do the Sims font here, like a fun font for their name. And I'm going to make it 20 because this one's a little big. There we go. And I'm just going to go like this. And I'm just going to go at profile. Oh, I can put at username. Username. And now we have their username right there. Right? And I'm going to make it, I'm even go a little crazy and make it a 25. Okay. You know, I would say the most you want to use for text fonts is like 2 to 3. That's just personally my opinion. You do not need to follow that. You can literally wipe your butt with it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and create another text box right here. I'm going to try to line it up, and I'm going to make it so that it's smaller. I'm going to make it like a 15. Oh, 15, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and change it to the old font that I want. And I'm going to make it so that it's italic. And then I'm going to see, oh, no, it looks a little big because I want this to be like the location. So I'm going to make it maybe 12. That's a little bit better. So now you can either put a location here, or you can put like a little snarky about me maybe. And I'm just going to, right there. And I'm going to put locate, I'm going to put city, comma, world. And then they know that that's their location. Make it just a little bit down. Okay, got that. Now I want something over here that shows that the person posted like a few minutes ago. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy and paste it. Make sure that it's lined up with here, right? Oops, hold on. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm going to make it slightly larger because this is like time. And I'm going to say 3 minutes ago, like that. Okay, that still looks pretty big. So I'm going to go back to 12. There, that looks better. There we go. So we kind of got the base down, right? Now I would say like this is like the header almost. So what I'm going to do is hold on. I'm going to lock this so I don't have to deal with that. And I'm going to group all this and I'm going to call it a folder and I'm going to name it header. That way it's already good to go. Like I said, I do like to organize it from top to bottom. So like this. That way it's all organized. And let's go ahead and make it yellow. That way it's all yellow. There we go. Lovely. We love that for us, right? Okay, now for this one, I do want it to be like it's they're posting a photo. So I'm going to go ahead and get another text box. I'm going to put it right here. And then I'm going to make sure that it's regular. And I'm going to make the font like 20. That way it's just slightly larger than the normal text. And then make sure this is also 20 because if not, it's not going to show. See? So because this is a social media post, I'm going to make it 15. That way it's a little more concise. And this looks still a little big, so I'm going to make it 18. That looks better. And then I'm going to put photo caption here. Goes here. There we go. And now I want it so that whoever uses my template can go ahead and post a photo, right? Same thing I'm going to do over here. I'm going to right click, make sure I get the rounded rectangle. And then I'm going to draw my rounded rectangle. I'm just going to make it slightly larger. Bring this in just a tad. Remove the stroke. And I'm going to fill it with a random color. And I'm going to show you why I'm doing that. And then I'm going to go ahead and make these all... Hold on. Oh my goodness, I'm making a whole mess over here. Link it 25. There we go. Oh, that's a little too rounded. Let's try 20. That's fine. Now the reason I like to color is because it's easier when it comes to clipping. So now let's say I wanted to put a photo in here, right? What you would do, and I always put like right here, clip photo here. Now, for me, many, many years ago, before I learned this trick, I would like physically try to like get the photo to fit within this. And it's hard because of the curved edges, right? So what you do is you say clip photo here, and then someone can bring in a photo. And I'm just going to bring in a random photo from my screenshots here. Let's have this photo of Kane. Here's Kane. Maybe he's posting a selfie, right? And then I'm just going to resize it so it kind of fits within the circle. And then, same thing as we did with the little bro sign. I'm going to right click, do create clipping mask, and now we can post the photo in there. And there's the photo. And that's how you do it. So I'm going to delete that. And that's how you get your... Oh, but now what I'm thinking of is, I would love to have like a little section where my sim can show what kind of likes and comments and stuff that they got. So I'm going to go ahead and just extend this out just a tad. We'll lock it back up. And now this still looks really big. Try 15. 15 looks better. That looks way better. So now what I want is something down here where I can show that my sim has a certain amount of likes and stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, hold on. I'm going to organize these. I'm going to put a folder. I'm going to say photo post. Hold on. Photo post. You don't have to do this. You can just let it be messy. Some of my templates are messy. Let me get orange. Okay, so now what we want to do is I want to put a little thing here where it shows how many likes and comments and reposts that they have, right? So I'm just going to go on the internet right now and I'm going to type heart template, comment template, and I'm going to show you what I do with it. So just give me 1 second. I want to do heart icon. You want to find one that's decent. So this one seems fine. But this one has like, it's going to be hard. All right, I'm just going to pick this one. So I've copied it from the internet. I'm going to paste it and you see it right here, right? I'm going to invert it. I just click Control I. That way the white heart is the only thing left. And then if you go here where it says Magic Eraser, you might have to right click it and click Magic Eraser. But if you click it, it will automatically erase the black background. Now I want it so that it's all white. You see like these little edges that looks like gray almost. If you double click here, click color overlay, make sure it's white, and it'll do nice and white for you. So now I'm gonna make it small. I think I'm gonna do, that one looked pretty good. I don't know, 20 looks pretty big. Let's try 15 and 15 here. That looks better, right? Like that's a heart. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my little text box right here. I'm gonna write number, number, number. That way the person knows that that's where they're supposed to put their numbers. And then, oops, get rid of that. Make sure that it's right here. And I am gonna make it slightly smaller. I'm gonna make it 12. That way it just looks a little bit better. All right, now I'm gonna do the same thing for comments. So I'm gonna go on the internet and I'm gonna search up comments, comment icon, and I'm just gonna find one that I really like. It's depending on your vibes. You don't want to pick one with a transparent background and the icon is black, because if you paste it, like watch. I don't know if this one's gonna work. Let's see. Oh, that one didn't work. Hold on. Let me find one. I'll find one real quick. Right here. Copy image. So if I paste this image, it's gonna be all black. I can't see the image anymore. That's why. You don't want transparent backgrounds if the main color is black. If it's white, you're good to go. That's fine. So here comes the long way of me trying to find. Okay, this one's not bad. Let's copy and paste this one. Boom, that one. So I'm going to erase the background. You see the white edges? I don't really care because once I color overlay it, it's all going to be white. Boom. And then what was the size of this? 15. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing here. 15. 15. And you can see that it's kind of gotten a little bit thinner. That's fine. You know, actually, it bothers me. So I'm not going to pick that one. Sometimes I might do like a stroke. Hold on. That actually looks pretty cool. I'm going to make sure that it's color and it's white. And you see how it's pretty thick? I'm going to try going 1. Okay, that one looks much better. And I'm just going to keep that for right now. You don't have to use this one. You can go find another one. It's fine. I'm going to copy and paste this likes button, the number, and put it right here. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to get it. There we go. I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. Make this a little bit smaller. There we go. So now we got the likes and the comments. I'm going to go find a retweet button. So I'm literally going to type retweet icon. Find one that looks pretty good. I like this one, so let's copy this. Erase what you don't want. Color overlay it. And now I'm going to make it 15 and 15. I might have to edit this one. We'll see. Yeah, this one I'm going to have to make just a tad bit wider. Like that. And then I could just put it in line. Sorry, there we go. And then get the likes button and come drop this off right here. There we go. And now you have a little username. And then I'm going to go ahead and rename all these. Okay, what is this layer? This is why I like to name it as I go. That way I'm not confused. Okay, so this is likes. Hold on. I'm going to name this likes. Heart. And then this is probably the likes number. This is oh my god. Comments number. This is retweets number. Oh my god, I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay, this is going to be comments icon. This is going to be retweet icon. And then I'm just going to, like I said, I like to make everything super organized. Let me get this, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. There we go. Oh wait, no, right here. There we go. So now all this is good. So I can go ahead and make a folder, and I'm going to put likes, comments, and retweets. And then I'm going to, I don't know what that is. I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to go ahead and make that green. And now that's all ready to go. And now what I could do is select all of it, make it one big giant folder. Hold on. Oh, hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. All right, now let's try it. Hold on, I'm gonna need to. And where can I make it one big folder? Why isn't this? Hold on. Something's off. I don't know why it's not working, but normally I would just select all of this and create a folder, and it would make a folder. Oh, I think I know what I gotta do. Hold on. I think I just do it like this. Folder. That's how you do it. Okay, and then I'm gonna name this social post. And then I can go ahead and make it some random color. No. Red. And then I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna unlock these. Make it blue. Maybe blue. Oh, make it green. And then I'm gonna call it moodlet template. And now everything's nice and organized, ready to go. Now all you gotta do is click on the folders and start editing what you want. I'm gonna go ahead and lock these. I like to lock the folders, that way when you guys get into them, you don't just start messing everything up. And I haven't had any issues with anybody needing me to tell them that they need to unlock it. So, all right, let me see how much I've been recording. Okay, 37 minutes, not bad. I'm killing it. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I would do the comic book post. I don't know if you guys have seen my comic book post, but I went ahead, River, hold on, I don't want to get their username wrong. I call him River. River of Jazz Sims, yesterday on my stream asked me like, hey, girly pops. She didn't say it like that, but she was just like, hey, can you make like a comic book ship? And I was like, oh yeah, I can try. I've never done one before. So this is how I did it. I'm going to go ahead and open a new one, and I'm just going to pick, let's pick this one. And I'm going to crop it so that it fits my ratio. I normally do 7:9. And then I'm just going to make sure that the size is around 2000. And the reason I do that is because that's about the quality of my images. You can make it smaller or larger depending on what you want. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a gradient on this because it helps me see better. So if you right click here, you probably see the paint button. Just click the gradient tool and just like that. All right, now I'm going to lock that. Now what I'm going to do, hold on, is I'm going to quickly browse the internet for a comic book layout. Comic book layout. And I'm going to pick one that I didn't do yesterday. So let's pick a new one. I'm going to try to pick like a cool one that I think people could use. This one looks, oh, I need it separate though. Oh, this one looks really good. I'm going to do this one. So I found a template I like. I'm just going to copy and paste it on here. And then I'm going to stretch it out so that it fits the whole area of what I need. It's okay if it's pretty low quality. It's fine. I don't need it to be great quality. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to lower the opacity just a tad. And I'm going to lock it. Where's my lock? There it is. Okay, hold on. It's not centered, which is kind of annoying. There, that's better. I think that's more centered than it was before. Right, I'm going to lock it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start creating these shapes. Now, because these are rectangles, these are super easy. I'm just going to be using the rectangle tool, and I'm just going to literally just draw a rectangle. Now, I do want it so it fills up more of the space, so I am going to do something like this. I'm going to make it slightly larger. Boom. Right? Take out the stroke. Oh, actually, we're going to keep the stroke. We're going to keep it white, and then I'm going to change the fill to be like a different color. And I want the stroke to be slightly bigger, so I'm going to make it 10. There we go. So now that's panel 1. So I'm going to put square panel 1. All right. Good thing is I'm going to copy and paste it and just boom, right there. Make sure it lines up nicely. Is that centered? That says it's centered. And then I'm going to make this panel 2. And I'm going to, not panel 12. Oh my goodness gracious. Panel 2. And I'm going to make it a different color. Boom. So now I have panel 1, panel 2. Those two are good. I'm going to go ahead and do these down here. So I'm just going to copy and paste these. Drop them down here. Now you see they don't fit as nicely as they did up there. I guess I didn't have enough space. I'm just going to go ahead and edit them so that they fit a little bit nicer. Make sure they're lined up correctly. Okay, and I'm going to change the color. So I'm going to make this one yellow. This one, I'm going to make it pink. I'm just going to pick a random pink color. There we go. So now this is going to be panel 3, 4, 5. This could be panel 6. So, okay, my 6 button was not working. I think I have to clean this key. Okay, so now I've got panels 1, 2, 5, and 6. Now to do 3 and 4, you see how it has like this cut? I'm going to show you how I learned how to do it, okay? Like I said, if you know how to do it easier than me, feel free to do it. And if you want to try to teach me, you can, but I'm a creature of habit. So what I'm going to do is right here, you see like this little ink button. That's the pen tool. And the pen tool will help you create, sorry, I'm just going to get this already. Create shapes that are not just straight shapes, like triangles, circles, squares, all that stuff. So what I'm going to do is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to first trace the shape with the pen tool. So I'm going to start here. It's not going to be 100% perfect. I'm going to show you how to edit it. Boom. If I want to do a straight line down, I'm just going to click Shift and click where I want it to be, and it'll do a straight line for me. I don't have to worry about it. Same thing. If I want a straight line here, boom, straight line. Don't got to worry about it. Now up here, because this line, even though it is a straight line, it's not a straight one up, down, or left, right. It's kind of tilted. I'm just going to not click Shift and click there. Same thing here. I'm just going to click there, and then because this is a straight line horizontally, I'm just going to boom. And now I can change the fill to be whatever color I want. I'm going to make it, I don't know, purple. And now I have that shape. Okay. Beautiful, right? What am I saying? So now we are going to edit it so that it fits the space a bit better. So all I'm going to do is click Control and a corner, and I'm just going to move it so that it fits nicer. Move here so that it fits nicer, and it's like a straight line. And then I might move it up slightly just because up here there's like a little bit of a gap. Maybe I can raise it up a bit. Hold on, sorry. Like, maybe like that. Okay. That looks good to me, right? That looks great to me. Okay. It's not perfect, and it's okay. Now I'm going to do the right side, and I'm going to go ahead and name this panel 3. Put it right under 2. And I'm going to do the same thing that I just did. Okay. I'm going to take my pen tool. I already changed the settings up here, and I'm just going to go ahead and start clicking. So I'm going to do here. Shift, because it's a straight line down. Straight line horizontally. And then I'm going to let go of the shift and just start following the shape. And then connect. Boom. Change the fill. I haven't used orange, so let's use an orange color. Boom. And now I'm going to do the same thing I did here. I'm just going to play around with it so that it looks more like what I want it to look like. So I'm just going to kind of play around with these settings a little bit. And I'm holding Control while I do all of this because I want it to look, this one needs a little bit of moving down. Okay, there we go. Now you see I've got like nice straight lines. There's a little bit of a gap here. I don't really want to mess with that right now. So now I can just delete this layer, and now I just have my comic book. And I can go in and start, you know, messing around. Like maybe I do want this to be more together. And I can start changing. Hold on. That didn't look good. I'm just going to make it so that it looks more like how I want it to look. Okay. That's too close. Okay. That's a little bit better. Now I'm going to change the purple. It's so hard to do it because it won't let me grab the corners of this one for some reason. So I gotta be really careful about what I'm doing here. Move this one to the side. Move this one. Oh, no, that's not what I want. I want to move this. I want to move this piece. Oh, it's not letting me do it. Okay, it's not letting me do it. So I can probably move this one, maybe. Yeah, it'll let me move this one. Won't let me move the other one. I don't know why. Okay, that's a little bit better, right? And now you have a comic book strip. And you can go ahead. I'm going to make this panel 5. Oh my god, I keep clicking the same thing. Panel 5. There we go. And I'm going to just put it in the lineup. Oh, this is panel 4. Panel 4. Boom. And now you have a little comic book layout. And you can just clip the images to this little spots. If you wanted to make a transparent background, you just hide this and it'll make it a transparent background. So you can, you know, put like comic book paper in the back if you want. I can show you how to do that real quick. I'm going to go ahead, and it's not going to make any sense right now, but I'm going to go ahead and make this so that it is purple. So I'm going to, I don't know how to do this. Maybe just do a butt paint. Make sure that this is right. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to. There. I think that's probably as good as it's going to get. Okay, I made it white. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lock all of these so I don't mess with them. And I'm going to make it up there. So now I want to make it look like there's paper in the background. So I'm going to go into Google and I'm going to type paper overlay. And I'm going to look for something that looks like paper. You want something with a lot of shadow. So I'm going to try this one out. Let's see how it does. So you can kind of see like the crinkles in it. And I'll probably do like 3 of them. That way it looks like the details are a little bit easier. And then I'm going to just merge these to be one layer. And then I can just change the overlay to be overlay and see what looks best. All right, let's try soft light, and let me try making the layer maybe like more like a gray almost. And you see like it looks a little bit better. It looks like paper. It's up to you what you want. But that's how I do it. So I make like a quick little panel. It's just kind of like tracing. Is it perfect? No. Like I can tell like this part's a little bit thicker than this part. These lines look pretty good. I don't think these are lined up at all. But you can even say like, oh, I saw one where it was like, let's try it out. Let me unlock these. It was one that was like, this one was like this, and then this one was a little bit longer. You can even do that if you wanted, and then do the opposite with the other end. Let me look it. You can even do something like this, where it goes opposite. And boom. You got another kind of panel. It's up to you how you want to do it. There's so many templates that you can pick from, and that's just copy and pasting over and over again. Well, guys, that's how you do it. I don't really have any other tricks that I can think of. Yeah, so that's the video. If you guys have any other questions, you can always ask me. Or if you have any other template ideas that maybe you would like to see, you can always send me like reference photos. I would ask though, if you're going to send reference photos, like please make sure that the creator hasn't like, make sure it's okay with the creator, because there have been instances where a creator might not be okay with someone making a template that looks like theirs, and they don't want that, and that's okay, and that's their prerogative. So I don't want to step on any toes. I've already been through that before. So just make sure, if you're sending me a template that you would like, just make sure that the creator is aware and that you've asked them. If not, I might not do it, just because if it's very specific style, I don't want to mass produce, I guess, their style. Like this was just like, can you make a comic book template? It's very generic. There are people who use comic book templates on Tumblr. So yeah, I hope you guys learned something. I'm sorry if I was a little chatty, but I'm going to go ahead and stop this video now, and I hope you guys have a great day. I'm going to do the YouTubey thing, comment, like, subscribe, and I will see you guys with my next video. Bye.